So let's talk about the Michigan game. That first half, it was not pretty. There was some promising stuff, though, that gave hope for a comeback. We had to work really hard to score baskets, but we had a couple guys like Ace Baldwin and DeMarco Dunn. They were scoring with ease, and so even though we were down by 10 at halftime, the team was showing some strong effort, and there was kind of this vibe where it was like, man, this feels a little bit like the Ohio State game. We went into halftime with some clear areas for improvement. The coaching staff, I think they addressed the issues really well and promptly fixed them. I want to give props to the coaching staff for that. I think last year with Shrewsbury and that staff, it was extremely frustrating the way that it felt like they would never make any adjustments in the game. And at halftime, you'd be like, man, we need to do this, this, and this, and we potentially win this game, and none of those got fixed. That's how it was last year with Shrewsbury, it felt like. And this year, Rhodes and this staff, they will assess stuff, especially at halftime, and they will talk to their guys and make changes, whether that's schematically, strategically, whatever. We're seeing notable differences from this team in the first and second half. At the beginning of the season, this team was a far worse second half team than a first half team, and has started to change. This team has started to be able to make adjustments and get better as the game goes on. And I think that's a really good thing. It's a really good trait to have going into the rest of Big Ten play, because there's a whole bunch of different styles of basketball teams in this conference. You're going to be playing teams that love to shoot a ton of threes. You're going to be playing teams that love to grind out close ones and take a whole bunch of boards off the glass and really slow the pace down and stuff like that. You're going to have teams that never turn over the ball. You're going to play teams that turn over the ball all the time. And for a team like Penn State that really thrives on getting turnovers, you're going to have to find ways to win games where the other team's just not turning over the ball. And so that with a whole bunch of whole different styles in the Big Ten Conference, it's important that this team and this staff is able to make changes on the fly and make adjustments and be able to strategize for different teams that they're playing against. And I'm confident that Coach Rhodes can do that because he's done it a couple times already, and the hope is that he can keep doing it and do it better every single time. In this Michigan game, I think we were having issues on defense, so we started pressing. We started harassing Michigan on defense. This led to turnovers. It led to some easy buckets, and more importantly, it led to us gaining huge amounts of momentum. The Palestra it's a nice environment, and in that first half, there was just nothing to cheer about. And when you get steals and get fast breaks and make some nice plays and hit some early shots, that's what happens. You get some momentum. We also immediately started to settle in on offense. Clary hit a couple of shots early, and DeMarco Dunn and Ace Baldwin, they continued to dominate. We also started to move the ball better on offense instead of scoring almost completely off the dribble. In the first half, everything was off the bounce. And in the second half, we started to get some more assists. This is a team that almost never gets assists. In the second half, the ball movement just started to look a lot better. We started to work hard to get rebounds and get the ball off the glass. Leo O'Boyle and Nick Kern started filling up the hustle stats. We stopped turning the ball over. We started working the ball inside, where Qudus Wahab had major matchup advantages the entire second half. He is a force of a human being. I think the team is starting to realize how to use him in our offense. He had 8 points in this game, all of them in the second half. I will not be surprised if Qudus Wahab starts to become a major factor in this team going forward. He's a really important part in that starting five. Kanye Clary, he had a rough game against the taller Michigan team, but he still managed to put up 18 points. He never feels like he is putting in points like crazy. I mean, sometimes he is when he's just slicing to the basket, and you're like, man, this dude's unstoppable. But in this Michigan game, it felt like Clary was missing everything, and you look at his stat sheet at the end, you're like, oh, he had 18 points. Like, he'll just do that. He'll put up a quiet 18. But he did struggle a little bit. It was an inefficient effort for him. Only made 5 field goals. Baldwin took over the game completely, and he played 37 fantastic minutes for this team. It was a special performance from Ace. And I hope that he uses this game to get him going and make him more confident offensively. Because this game proved a lot for this Penn State team and Ace Baldwin. And I think it shows that when this team makes adjustments and plays aggressively with confidence, that we can be a nasty team to play against. This team has what it takes and has the talent to do some great things this season, and the win against Michigan gives hope as we head into a tough stretch of our schedule.